got it. We're at NAMM. Hey, welcome to the show. I am Ronan Chris Murphy, and I'm glad you could join us. Different setup here. I'm actually relegated to a corner in the live room since I've got an electrical contractor working in the control room, actually doing a new AC system with a dedicated ground for the audio gear. So I'm out here. It gives me a chance to take a break and do some things for you guys. And you might hear some power tools and such going off in the background. But first thing first, before we get into the main episode, I want to direct your attention to a link that will be below this episode, and it goes to the Home Recording Show, and which is a audio recording related podcast. But I was part of a roundtable of people who do podcasting and audio related media, and had a lot of fun. But check it out, if nothing else, to check out the other people who are involved with this. So if you dig what I do here on the show, there's a pretty good chance that you would enjoy what a lot of these other podcasters are doing. Now let's dig into the NAMM coverage. I had some grandiose ideas about what I was going to be able to do for this episode, but life sort of took over. There's a company called A Designs, which I'm kind of crazy about their stuff, and I help them beta test. And since I know their stuff really well, they invite me to trade shows sometimes to talk to people about the gear and things like that. And it's always a lot of fun, good chance to meet people. But while I was there, one of the guys who works for A Designs and their sister company Pete's Place got really sick with food poisoning, and I ended up spending almost the whole convention hanging out with the A Designs booth, helping those guys out because they were short-handed. So I didn't get a chance to do as much running around and filming as I wanted, or coordinating with somebody else to help me do the camera work, but I still managed to run around and shoot some content about some things that I thought were pretty cool. So hopefully you will too. There's always a lot of speculation before the NAMM show, and people are excited to see what's going to be introduced, what people are going to have. But for me this year, it was all about one thing. I wanted to see what FolkCraft instruments were going to have in terms of new dulcimers. So this is actually what I was most stoked about, and that's the beauty I was able to pick up at the show. So one of my favorite things about NAMM is getting to see designers and merchants really doing things that are outside the norm, really coming out of left field. There was a little bit less of this at NAMM. There's the power tools I promised. There was a little bit less of this at NAMM than I expected, but we did find some.
All right, this just looks like a pointy headstock guitar. All right, we've got LEDs in the neck. We've seen that before, but here's where things get interesting. Yep, that is a TV. We're watching King Kong being played in this guitar. So this is the first really fun thing I've seen here so far.
So one of the first things people ask me is where are the pickups? And the answer is the pickups are built into the bridge. We use a piezo pickup, which is common for acoustic guitars. We've reconfigured it to work with electric guitars. And that gives you basically a modeling of neck pickup, single coil in the middle, and a bridge pickup.
If you follow me, you might know that I'm a huge fan of Jewel amps, and this is actually their brand new bass preamp. So which I haven't even heard yet, but Jewel did it, so it's awesome.
Yeah, my name's Fan Eichner. I work for Cloud Microphones. We make ribbon microphones in the style of the old RCA mics. The guy who designed mics for RCA, the second major designer, his name's John Sank. When RCA shuttered their factory in the 70s, John took all the stuff to make the ribbon mics with him. That is what we have. That is what we use to make our ribbon mics. The JRS-34 here actually literally has the same ribbon as the RCA-44 ribbon mic over here, and that's what we're doing. It's kind of the logical continuation of that the RCA legacy. You know, only they're a little smaller. They're a little more manageable. You know, you don't have to hoist them up with a crane to get them over drum overheads, you know. And we're just trying to make good, you know, all made in the U.S. It's all made in Tucson, Arizona, handmade by me and 3 other guys, basically. And that's what's up. That's what we're doing.
This is what NAMM's all about. Getting to be in the same room as Bootsy Collins. All right. So if you're a big fan of audio recording, you probably search around the net for videos and such about recording, and that's probably how you ended up on me. If you're like me and you search around the internet for videos about Appalachian dulcimers, you end up at Bing. And Bing runs a program called Dulcimerica, and I wanted to get him to tell you a little bit about a new program, a series of videos that he's doing for FolkCraft Instruments about Appalachian dulcimers.
Well, it's called Getting Started with the Mountain Dulcimer, and FolkCraft going to be offering it. And I think Nick knows probably more about this than I do, who works with FolkCraft, but I'll be handing it out to people who are getting the instrument for the first time to teach them the very, very basics, what the anatomy is, how to put strings on, how to tune the instrument, and how to read tablature. Picks to use, how to, you know, all stuff like that, basically. But I'm also offering a sneak preview of it right now on the Dulcimerica program, because a lot of folks got dulcimers for Christmas, and so they're wondering these kinds of questions. So I'm putting that out there pretty soon, and I don't believe they're even selling it. They're really kind of giving it away to folks who get dulcimers.
All right. Well, thank you so much. I know you're only here for a day, so I'm glad we were able to catch up with you.
Thanks.
All right. It's $100 street. It's just a guitar pedal, but it's probably the single biggest buzz item here at NAMM this year. And it is the Polytune by TC Electronic. And the cool thing about it is you can basically tune all 6 strings at one time. You can also switch it over into single mode to get, looks like probably something a little more accurate. But yeah, when you strum the guitar, you'll get all the strings popping up at the same time. And yeah, there we go. There's solo mode or single note mode. Yeah. So definitely cool on the geeky scale, and probably the thing everybody's been talking about this year.
Before NAMM, I did some posts on Twitter asking fans of the show if there's anything they wanted me to cover. And I got a couple cool recommendations. And one was a fan of the show named Dion in Minneapolis who told me to check out something called Softstep. And I'm really glad